Hello students, I hope you all are good. So today we are going to discuss NCERT section 9.5.2 and example 9.6 of chapter Ray Optics and Optical Instruments. So this is the disclaimer. After this lecture you will be able to understand the principles of refraction through lenses. Okay, so far we have discussed about the refraction through spherical surfaces. Now today we are going to discuss refraction through lenses, including thin lens approximation and ray tracing techniques. We have discussed ray tracing techniques, or the standard rays that we select to form a ray diagram, form an image in mirrors. We have discussed. So now in lenses, we are going to discuss thin lens approximations and ray tracing techniques. Also, you will be able to apply lens maker's formula. So the relation between the focal length of lens and refractive index of the lens and the radii of curvature of the surfaces of lens. That relation is called lens maker's formula. We are going to derive it and apply in the numerical problems. And thin lens formula, like we have discussed and derived the mirror formula. Similarly, we will derive the thin lens formula also to solve optical problems while distinguishing between the converging and diverging lens. So what is converging lens and what is diverging lens? We are going to discuss also. The topics that we are going to cover today is NCERT section 9.5.2 refraction by lens and example 9.6. Okay, so let's begin. Refraction by a lens. So what is lens? It is basically a transparent material. It is basically a medium enclosed within two surfaces, two refracting surfaces, one of which must be spherical. Okay, so lens is basically a piece of transparent material like glass or any other transparent material that can bend light. Okay, so you can see in the diagram. So lens looks like that. Okay, it is a piece of transparent material. Okay, it can be of different types. Okay, like we are going to discuss two major types, that is convex lens and concave lens in this chapter. Okay, and further in convex and concave lens there is further types of concave lens and convex lens also we are going to discuss in this chapter. Okay, based on their refracting surfaces. So this is the actual diagram of the lens. Also the magnifying glass that you use to see the magnified image of objects, or sometimes if the words or alphabets written in some book is very small, so you need a magnifying glass to see it properly. Okay, or jeweler or watch, the person who repairs the watch, they used magnifying glass to see the small parts of watch or very small designs in the jewelry. Okay, so they want to see the magnified image of that, so they use magnifying glass. It is basically a type of lens, that is convex lens. Okay, so it has two sides, or we can say surfaces. At least one of these sides must be curved, or we can say spherical. Okay, you can see there is two major surfaces, one surface and on the other side second surface. Okay, light is incident on one surface and it emerges out from the other surface, and one of the surface must be curved or spherical. If both the surfaces are plain, then it is not lens, it is generally a sheet or slab. Okay, but one of surface must be curved, then it can be classified into lens. When light passes through the lens, it bends twice. When it enters the lens through one surface, when light is incident on one surface, then it bends first. Then again it will bend when it exits through the other surface. So it will bend when it enters from one medium to another medium. So it will enter from one medium to the medium of lens. So it will bend once. Then again, on the second surface, it will exit the lens, or it will go from lens to another medium, from lens medium to another medium. Then it will bend again. So it will bend twice. Applying the formula for image formation by a single spherical surface successively at two surfaces of a lens. Okay, we have discussed about the refraction at spherical surface. Okay, lens has two surfaces. So we will apply the image formation formula by a single spherical surface at both the surfaces of the lens. Then we will derive the lens maker's formula after that. And after deriving the lens maker's formula, we will derive the lens formula for thin lenses also. Okay. So the two main types of lenses are, so major types of lenses are convex lens. As you can see in the diagram, what is the appearance of the convex lens? It is thicker at the mid and thinner at the edges. You can see it is side view of the lens. Okay, so it is thick in the middle and thinner at the edges. It is convex lens. You can also experience the thicker middle part in the magnifying glass also. If you have magnifying glass, you can experience, or you can touch the middle part and then edges. You will feel that edges are thinner than the middle part. Okay, that is convex lens. Also known as converging lens. Why it is called converging lens? As the light rays bend inwards and converge at a point which is known as focus. Okay, light rays that are incident on this convex lens, after refracting through the convex lens, they will converge at one point and meet at one point after refraction through the lens, and that point is known as focus. So they actually meet at one point. Their focus is real, not imaginary. So it is called converging lens. Now concave lens, you can see this is the appearance for concave lens as shown in the diagram. So it is flat, or we can say thinner at the middle and thicker at the edges. It is exactly opposite, its appearance is exactly opposite to convex lens. It is thinner at the, or flat at the mid and thicker at the edges. So it is also known as diverging lens because it bends the parallel light rays outwards. Okay, convex lens bends the parallel light inwards and converge the light rays that are coming parallel to the principal axis to a one point after refraction. But concave lens, it bends the parallel beam coming from the source after refraction outwards, such that they appear to diverge from a point known as focus. Okay, so they are not actually diverging from a point. They appear to diverge from a point known as focus. So focus of this concave lens is imaginary, virtual. That is a point from where rays are appearing to diverge. So let's see the image formation by convex lens, or we can say double convex lens. What is double convex lens basically? So convex lens we all know. Double means both the surfaces are convex. Okay, there are further types of convex lens. Okay, we will discuss after this topic. Okay, so double means both the surfaces are convex. That is the meaning of double, or we can simply say it convex lens. Okay, so this is the figure 9.6a, the position of object and image formed by double convex lens. It is shown in the diagram. Object is O. Okay, this is the object. Okay, O, and incident light is coming from object and falling on the lens. Okay, and after refraction through the lens, it is meeting at principal axis at I point. That I point is the image of object O. U is the object distance and V is the image distance. Okay, that N1 and N2, that are the points where incident light is meeting the one refracting surface of lens, and from where refracted light is emerging out from the other surface, ADC. Okay, and ABC is one refracting surface, ADC is another refracting surface. Both the surfaces are concave. Okay, and the intersection point of principal axis and the bisector AC. You can see AC bisector dashed line and principal axis. The intersection of both these lines is called optical center. That is center of the lens. Okay, that is called optical center. Now, when light passes through a double convex lens, a lens that bulges outward, that means on both sides it is curved outwards. Okay, that bulges outwards on both sides. The image is formed in two steps. Okay, there are two steps involving the final image. So first step, when light from the object O hits the first curved surface. What is the first curved surface here? ABC. So when light hits that surface ABC, first refraction happens. Okay, it creates a temporary image I1. Okay, so we will imagine that second surface is not there. Only ABC is there. And after ABC, on the right side of the ABC, there is a denser medium. So it will be considered as spherical surface, as the case of spherical surface. So it will create an image, that surface will create an image that is called temporary image or intermediate step image. That is intermediate image. That is not visible to us. We cannot detect it. But we can assume that it will be formed. That will be acting as object for the second surface. Okay, so think of this like a halfway point in the image formation process. Okay, you can think that this is the halfway of image. Final image is I. So it is the halfway point where intermediate image is formed. Now, second step, this imaginary image then acts like a new object. Okay, that I1 will act like a object for the second surface ADC. Okay, so second surface then creates the final image I that we actually see. Then the second surface ADC, we can assume that surface. Okay, and the left side of this surface we can assume one medium, and on the right side of ADC another medium. So light is coming from the medium which is same as of lens. Okay, light is coming from inside the lens and falling on the second surface ADC. So the I1, that is the temporary image from the first refracting surface, that image I1 will act as an object, or we can say virtual object, for the second surface ADC, and that surface ADC will produce the final image I for that virtual object. Okay, we will see step by step how these images are formed in the next slides. Okay, figure 9.16 again. Now we'll see thin lens approximation. So what is thin lens approximation here? That we are going to assume in this derivation. So the thickness of the lens is negligible as compared to other distances. Okay, that means that point B and D that are lying nearly close to each other, or we can say nearly, they are considered nearly at same location, B and D point, such that the thickness of the lens is negligible. Both surfaces are considered, so both surfaces ADC and ABC, they are considered to be at same location. That means B and D are considered to be at same location, at the optical center. Okay, what is optical center? Center of the lens. That is the intersection of bisector of the lens and principal axis. This simplification leads to a standard thin lens formula. Okay, so that assumption, that approximation we are taking to derive the thin lens formula, and also it is used in lens maker's formula. So now we will derive mathematical derivation for focal length of double convex lens. So this is the refraction at first spherical surface. Okay, figure 9.16. So first spherical surface ABC, we will consider that right side of the ABC is one medium and left side of the ABC is another medium having refractive index n1, and on the right side of the spherical surface ABC there is a refractive index, medium of refractive index n2, which is the refractive index of lens. Okay, that is the medium of lens. Okay, we are not considering here the second surface. So refraction from the first surface. So object O is there. Okay, so that surface will make the temporary image I1 as shown in the figure. So incident light from O is incident on the ABC refracting surface. We will draw the normal at the point of incidence. That normal will pass through the center of curvature C1. That is the center of curvature of refracting surface ABC. C1. Okay. So N2. N2 is the refractive index of lens, of the medium of lens. So it is denser. We assume it. In this problem, it is denser. Okay. So light ray will bend towards the normal. So refracted ray will bend towards the normal and meet at I1 point. That I1 point is temporary image of the object O. Okay, so refraction at surface ABC, applying equation 9.15. So what is equation 9.15? That is the equation taken from the derivation of refraction through spherical surface. That topic we have discussed yesterday. Okay, from that topic, this equation 9.15, we are using that equation here to the first interface ABC. Okay, so that equation N1 upon, so N1 is the medium in which object is placed. So N1 upon OB, OB is the object distance. So ratio of refractive index in which object is placed, okay, upon the object distance plus ratio of refractive index of medium in which image is formed upon the image distance BI1 equal to N2 minus N1 upon radius of curvature of this spherical surface, that is BC1. That is the equation that we have discussed, equation 9.15 in yesterday class. Okay, now image distance here is OB. So in the place of image distance we are putting OB. In the place of, sorry, object distance is OB, image distance BI1, and radius of curvature here is BC1. Okay, mark it as 9.17 equation. Similar equation we will write for the other spherical surface ADC. So another surface ADC. Now you can see incident light is coming from, so after refracting through first spherical surface ABC, it will fall on the ADC. So for second spherical surface, we will consider that on the left side of the spherical surface ADC, there is a medium N2 having refractive index N2. That is the medium of lens. We are not considering here. We will consider that there is no ABC refracting surface. Only ADC is there and left side is entirely of refractive index of lens N2. Okay, on the right side of this ADC refracting surface, there is a medium N1 again. Okay, so light after refracting through first spherical surface, it is falling on second spherical surface at this point. Okay, so this is the incident light coming from the after refracting through first spherical surface ABC. Okay, so light is coming from denser medium and it is going in rarer medium. Okay, and also this light ray is along the, it is towards this I1. Why it is towards the I1? Because it is the light ray that is refracting from first spherical surface, and due to first spherical surface image, temporary image is formed at I1. Now we have placed in the path of this refracted ray from first spherical surface, we placed another spherical surface ADC. Now again refraction will occur second time. Okay, now draw the normal at this point. It will pass through that C2, the center of curvature of ADC refracting surface. Now it is going from denser to rarer medium, so it will bend away from the normal. It will bend away from the normal. So it will meet the principal axis at I point. That is the final image after refraction through both the surfaces ABC and ADC. Okay, got it? This is R2. That is the radius of curvature of this ADC surface. Okay. Now, object. This object is virtual. This is not real. Okay. It is never formed. It is intermediate step to determine the final position of the image. So it is never formed. Only this ray is there. That ray is coming towards this surface ADC. After refraction from this point, it will meet at I. So this is the image I1 formed if ADC were not present. Okay, so it is the imaginary, it is the intermediate image, or we can say virtual object for this surface. This is not actual object, this is virtual object for this surface. So refraction at surface ADC. Applying equation 9.15 again to the second surface ADC. This, now we will swap this N1 and N2. Now ratio of refractive index of medium in which object is placed upon the object distance. Okay, so ratio of refractive index of that medium in which object is placed. So in which medium object is placed? Object is placed, you will think that it is placed in rarer medium. No, it is virtual object. It is never formed. It is only for the derivation purpose. We say that it is formed at this I1. This is intermediate step. If this ADC were not present, then it will form at I1. Okay, but rays are coming from denser medium. Incident ray is coming from denser medium. Okay, that's why object to be considered in denser medium, that is in N2. So N2 upon the object distance. So what is the object distance? This is coming from the denser medium, but exact location is not there, but it is meeting at, if we extend this, it is meeting at I1. So virtual object distance is di1, but actually it is coming from denser medium. That's why N2 upon di1, and negative sign is there. Why negative sign is there? Because object is virtual here. Okay, according to sign conventions, we take the object distance to be negative for real objects. Here the object distances will be taken as positive. That's why we are applying negative here, because if we put di1 to be minus u, minus and minus will get cancelled out, and object distance will be taken as positive because object is virtual here. That's why we are applying negative sign in the formula. Plus the ratio of refractive index in which image is placed upon the image distance. So N1 in which final image is present, N1, and di is the image distance, equal to N2 minus N1 upon DC2. DC2 is the radius of curvature of this surface ADC. Mark it as 9.18 equation. Now there is solution part only. Okay, note refractive index of the medium on the right side of ADC is N1, while on its left it is N2. Okay, and the negative sign appears because object is virtual in the case of refraction of at surface ADC. Okay, that's why we applied here negative sign, because object is virtual for this ADC surface. Now adding equation 9.17 and 9.18. So what will happen after adding these equations? So N1 upon OB plus N2 upon BI1 plus N2 minus N2 upon DI1 plus N1 upon DI equal to N2 minus N1. We are taking common from both these terms, and 1 upon BC1 plus 1 by DC2. This is the 9.17 is the equation for ABC surface, and 9.18 is the equation for ADC is refracting surface, and we are adding these both equations. Okay, now we'll apply the thin lens approximation. Okay, so for a thin lens, point B and D are nearly considered to be at same location. Okay, thickness is considered to be negligible, so B and D are nearly considered to be at same location. That means BI1 is nearly equal to DI1. So at the place of BI1, we will put DI1. So it will become N2 upon DI1. This is minus N2 upon DI1. So this two terms will get cancelled out. Okay, so it will become N1 upon OB plus N1 upon DI in the next step. So N1 upon OB plus N1 upon DI equal to N2 minus N1, 1 upon BC1 plus 1 upon DC2, marked as 9.19 equation. Now we'll put the values according to sign conventions of OB, DI. What is OB? Object distance. What is DI? Image distance. BC1 is the radius of curvature of first surface. DC2 is the radius of curvature of the second surface. Okay, or we will apply here the condition. What condition we will see? So when object is at infinity, that means this OB will approach to infinity. Object is placed at infinity. Okay, so object distance is approaching infinity. That means N1 upon OB. It will become N1 upon infinity. That means 1 upon infinity is 0. So that term will become 0. And if OB is infinity, object is at infinity, that means image will be formed at focus. The ray that is coming from infinity will meet at focus after refraction. Okay, so DI will become focal length. DI will become focal length. So N1 upon OB will become 0 and N1 upon DI will become N1 upon F. Okay, so this equation will become N1 upon F equal to N2 minus N1 upon 1 by BC1 plus 1 by DC2. Mark it as 9.20 equation. Now we will divide this N1 on the right side. Okay, so it will become N2 upon N1 minus N1 upon N1. So N1 upon N1 become 1, N2 upon N1 minus 1. Okay, it will modify it. So applying sign conventions, BC1. So incident light is coming from left to right. We are also measuring this radii of curvature R1 from B towards C1. So we are measuring this distance in the direction of incident light. So it will be taken as positive. So BC1 is equal to positive R1, radius of first surface. And for DC2, incident light is coming from left to right. We are measuring this distance from D towards C2. Okay, so it will be taken as negative. So DC2 is minus R2, radius of second surface, negative as center is to the left. Now therefore equation will become 1 upon F, we have divided N1 on the right side. So it will become N2 upon N1 minus 1, 1 upon BC1 is R1, DC2 is minus R2. So minus 1 by R2. So this is the final expression. Okay. Mark it as 9.21 equation. So 1 upon F equal to N2 upon N1. We can write it as, what is N2? Refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium. We can write it as N21. N21 is N2 upon N1. We can write this N2 upon N1 as N21. Minus 1, 1 upon R1 minus 1 upon R2. Mark it as 9.21 equation again. This is the equation. So this is the famous lens maker's formula. Okay, it is useful to design lenses of desired focal lengths. Okay, so if we know the refractive index of lens, if we know the refractive index of medium of lens, and also we know the radii of curvature, okay, we can determine the focal length. Okay, so this formula is used. Why it is called lens maker's formula? It is used to make lenses, to design lenses. Okay, of required focal length. If we want lens for focal length 20 centimeter, okay, so 20 centimeter is known, medium of the lens is also known. So we can modify this R1 and R2 according to this F, okay, based on this formula. Okay, so it is used to make the lenses. This formula is used to make the lenses. That's why it's called lens maker's formula. Okay, so lenses are made of different focal lengths. In your spectacles also, lenses are being used. They are of different focal lengths according as required. Okay, according to your vision, according to the defect in vision. Okay, so that type of lens is different focal lengths, different radius of curvature. Okay, that are made using this formula. So it is useful to design lenses of desired focal length using surfaces of suitable radii of curvature. Lens maker's formula is true for a concave lens also. We have derived it for convex lens. It is also true for concave lens. Only in that case R1 is negative and R2 is positive, and therefore F will be negative in the case of concave lens. Okay, now derivation of thin lens formula. Figure 9.16 again. So from equation 9.19 and 9.20. Okay, so N1 upon OB plus N1 upon D1, DI. We have applied the condition here that if OB approaches to infinity, that means object distance will become infinity, or object is at infinity. Okay, so DI, that distance, will be equal to focal length. Why? Object is at infinity. So parallel rays after refraction, they will converge at one point that is known as focus. So image distance will become equal to focal length. So DI will become focal length. So this Ni upon OB plus Ni upon N1 upon DI will become N1 upon F. Okay, from equation 9.19 and 9.20. So mark it as 9.22 equation. Now put, so dividing on both sides by N1, okay, and applying the sign conventions. OB is the object distance. Object is in the left side of the lens. Okay, and we measure the distance, object distance, against the direction of incident light. So it will be taken as negative and image distance will be taken as positive. Okay, according to sign conventions. So OB, or we can say BO, is minus U and DI is plus V. So 1 by V. So N1, we have divided N1 on both sides. So it will become N1 upon N1, N1 upon N1, and N1 upon N1. It will become 1. So 1 upon V minus 1 upon U equal to 1 upon F. So mark it as 9.23 equation. Okay, so this is the thin lens formula. So this is the thin lens formula. 1 upon V minus 1 upon U equal to 1 upon F. This is somewhat similar to mirror formula. Only in the mirror formula there is positive sign here. Okay, but in the case of lens formula, thin lens formula, there is negative sign. Only difference is that. Otherwise it is similar to mirror formula. So we have derived thin lens formula for a real image formed by a convex lens. Okay, so we have derived for this diagram for real image formed by a convex lens. We can also derive this formula using image formation by concave lens. Okay, this formula is valid for both convex as well as concave lens and both real and virtual images. It is applicable for all type of conditions. Only you have to take care about the sign conventions. Okay, now further types of concave and convex lenses. So further type of convex lenses, one is double convex lens. Okay, that we have discussed. Double convex lens. So both the refracting surface of the convex lens is taken to be spherical. That is called double convex lens. Plano convex lens. One surface is plane, one is convex. Concavo convex lens. first surface is concave. Okay, you can see the first surface. So first surface is taken to be surface of concave lens, and second surface is the second surface. This first surface is considered here to be concave, and second surface is considered here to be convex. So it is called concavo-convex. Okay, so converging lens, it is convex lens is also called converging lens. Okay, where focal length is positive. Focal length for convex lens is positive and for concave lens is negative. So double convex lens, both surfaces curved outwards. For plano-convex lens, one surface is flat, one is convex. Concavo-convex, one surface is concave, first surface is concave, and second surface is strongly convex. Okay, strongly convex means it is more curved than this surface. Okay. Now there is further types of concave lens also. So double concave lens. Okay, both the surfaces of concave lenses curved inwards. Okay, plano concave, one surface is flat, one is curved inwards. And convexo concave, so first surface, that first surface is concave, and the second surface is first surface is convex and the second surface is concave. That's why it is called convexo concave. So diverging lenses, so for concave lens, focal length is negative, less than 0. And double concave, both surfaces curved inwards. For plano concave, one surface flat, other concave. And convexo concave, one surface convex and other more strongly concave. You can see other surface is more curved. So that means more strongly concave. Okay. Now, ray tracing rule for lenses. So figure 9.17, tracing rays through convex lens and concave lens. Okay, you can see the ray that is parallel is passing through focus after refraction. Ray that is passing through optical center, that is the center of the lens, it is continuing its path, and the ray that is passing through focus, it will become parallel after the refraction. Okay, similar for concave lens. So two foci, you can see there are two foci on both sides. Okay, so F and F dash of a double convex or concave, for concave lens also, F and F dash are equidistant from the optical center. So distance of this focus F and focus F dash from the optical center is same. The focus on the side of the source of light. Source of light means on the side from which incident rays are coming. Okay, so from the side of source of light, that focus is known as first focal point, or we can say first focus. Whereas the focus on the other side is known as second focal point, or we can say second focus. Okay, so focus on the same side of the object, or we can say focus on the side of source of light from which rays of from which incident light is coming. That focus is known as first focus, and focus on the other side is second focus. To find the image of an object by a lens, take any two rays emerging from a point on the object. Okay, it is so ray tracing rules are similar to ray tracing rules in the mirrors also. Okay, so a large number of rays are emerging from a point on the object, but we have to take at least two rays, okay, to form an image on the other side or on the same side in the case of concave lens. Okay, so take any two rays emerging from a point on an object. So which rays? So what are the rules? Which standard rays are there that we have to take for the image formation, for the ray diagrams? So trace their paths using the law of refraction and find the point where the refracted rays meet or appear to meet. So what are these rays? We will discuss one by one for convex lens and concave lens. Okay, so for convex lens, what are the tracing rays? So for convex lens, parallel rays, the rays that are parallel to the principal axis, they will pass through the second focus after refraction through the lens. Second, central ray, the ray that is passing through the optical center, it will continue its path. It will continue straight. It will not bend. And focal ray, the ray that is passing through first focus, it emerges or it will become parallel to the principal axis after the refraction. Okay, so that are the ray tracing rule for convex lens. Now, tracing rays through the concave lens. Okay, so for concave lens, parallel rays, the rays that are parallel to the principal axis, they will appear to pass through first focus. So when we extend this diverged refracted ray in the backward direction, okay, the ray that is diverged after refraction, that parallel ray that diverged after refraction, if we extend this ray in the backward direction, it will appear to pass from the first focus F. Okay, second is central ray, which is not shown here, but central ray, it is similar to this tracing ray, similar as that in the case of convex lens. So the center ray that is passing through optical center will continue straight. It will not bend. Okay. And the third thing, focal ray, the ray that is coming towards the second focus, that means F dash. The ray that is coming towards the F dash, it will becomes parallel to the principal axis after refraction through the lens. Now magnification by lens. Again, so magnification M produced by a lens is defined as like that for a mirror as the ratio of the size of the image to that of the object. Similar to spherical mirrors. Okay, so what is the definition for magnification? We have discussed in the mirrors also. It is the ratio of size of image to that of the object. That means M is equal to H dash upon H, which is equal to V upon U. Okay, so in the case of mirrors, we discussed H dash upon H is equal to minus V upon U. But in the case of lenses, minus sign is not there. Okay, why? Because in mirrors, we derive this formula by using the image formation by concave mirror. Okay, in the case of concave mirror, image is inverted. For real image is inverted. So H dash is taken as negative, H as positive. Okay, and image is formed in the same side of the object. So both image distance and object distance are taken as negative. So minus V upon minus U. So minus H dash upon H equal to minus V upon minus U. Okay, so after cancelling out the negative signs, it became H dash upon H equal to minus V upon U in the case of mirror. But in the case of lens, in the case of convex lens, if the real image is formed, image will be inverted. So minus H dash upon H equal to, but image is formed on the other side of the lens. Okay, that's why image distance will be positive. So V upon minus U. So minus sign is in the left side and minus sign is in the right side. So minus and negative sign will get cancelled out from the both sides. So it will become H dash upon H equal to V upon U. That's why negative sign is not there in the case of lenses. So mark it as 9.24 equation. So sign interpretation for magnification by lenses, positive M is considered as virtual and erect image, and negative magnification indicates real and inverted image. Now example 9.6, a magician during a show makes a glass lens with n equal to 1.47 disappear. That refractive index is given 1.47 of glass lens. It will disappear in a trough of liquid. When it is immersed in a liquid, it will disappear. What is the refractive index of the liquid, and could the liquid be water? Okay, let's see. So understanding the disappearing effect, why the glass lens is disappearing in the liquid. So when an object becomes invisible in a medium, it means there is no refraction occurring at the interface between the object and the medium. So light is not bending, no refraction is occurring. Okay, so we cannot detect the interface or surface that is separating the medium of glass lens and the liquid. Okay, that's why that glass lens becomes invisible in the liquid, because our eyes cannot detect the surface that is separating the two media, because refraction is not occurring at the interface between the object and the medium. That is the disappearing effect. Why refraction is not occurring? Condition for no refraction. So for lens to be disappear, there should be no bending of light at the glass liquid interface. Okay, so if there is a bending of light, then this surface that is separating the two media will be visible. Okay, if it is invisible, that means no bending of light is occurring. So when no bending of light is occurring, what is that condition? So this happens when both media have same refractive index. If both the media have same refractive index, that means light will not bend and refraction will not happen. And we cannot detect the interface that is separating the two media. So light passes through as if lens were not present. Okay, so light will enter the lens medium and exit the lens medium and enter the liquid again, but without bending. And that means light passes through as if lens were not present. So it will assume that lens is not there. Okay. So what is the mathematical analysis for this question from the lens maker's formula? 1 upon f equal to n2 upon n1. So n2 here is glass, n1 here is refractive index of liquid, and liquid, minus 1 upon 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. Okay, so refractive index of both the medium should be equal. That means n glass should be equal to n liquid. That means ratio of both n glass upon n liquid will be 1. Okay, so for the lens to disappear, refractive index of liquid equal to refractive index of glass, which is equal to 1.47. Okay, that means the ratio will be equal to 1. So 1 minus 1 will be equal to 0. So on the right hand side, the whole term becomes 0. Therefore, n glass upon n liquid minus 1 equal to 0. So this thing gives, so on the right side of the expression becomes 0. So 1 by f become equal to 0. That means f will approach to infinity. Okay, hence the lens in the liquid will act as a plain sheet of glass. Okay, so light will not bend if refractive indices of both the media is same. Okay, so that lens will act as a sheet of glass or slab of glass. Okay. So now we will identify the liquid, which is, what is the liquid here? Water has refractive index approximately equal to 1.33. So water cannot be that liquid. So liquid, so here the liquid would be of refractive index 1.47 or near to 1.47, very close to 1.47. So glycerin has refractive index nearly equal to 1.47 and alcohol has refractive index nearly equal to 1.36. Okay, so refractive index of the liquid must be 1.47 for this disappearing effect. So therefore liquid is not water, it could be glycerin. It could be glycerin, but it is not sure that it is glycerin. Okay, so it could be glycerin, but it is not water, because water has different refractive index. So let's have a quick recap. So lens can be analyzed as two refracting surfaces working in sequence, out of which one must be spherical. Thin lens approximation assumes negligible lens thickness and combined surface at optical center. First surface creates an intermediate image which becomes object for the second surface. Lens maker's formula 1 upon f equal to n2 upon n1 minus 1, 1 upon r1 minus 1 upon r2. Thin lens formula 1 by V minus 1 by U equal to 1 upon F. So converging lens for which focal length is positive include double convex, plano-convex and concavo-convex types. Diverging lens for which focal length is negative include double concave, plano-concave and convexo-concave types. Magnification formula is m equal to h dash upon h equal to v upon u for lenses. Positive magnification indicates virtual and erect image, and negative magnification indicates real inverted image. So there are some practice questions. If a convex lens has focal length 20 cm and an object is placed 40 cm from it, where will the image form? What is the focal length of a lens made of glass n equal to 1.5 with both surfaces having radius of curvature 20 cm? A 2 cm tall object placed 30 cm from a convex lens forms an image 60 cm from the lens. What is the height of the image? If a concave lens produces a virtual image 1 by 3 of the size of object, what is the object distance if focal length is minus 15 cm? So it is not necessary that in the question it is given that minus 15 cm. It is given in that question, but they can simply write 15 cm. You have to detect it is negative focal length or positive focal length based on the lens type. So what type of lens would you need to form a real and inverted image of an object? Okay, so these are some practice questions you have to do yourself. So thank you. This is all about today's lecture, but we have to do the DPP. Okay. So double convex lens made of glass, refractive index N2 equal to 1.5. So solve it fast and tell me the answer. Placed in air N1 equal to 1. The radius of curvature is given R1 equal to 20 cm and R2 is minus 30 cm. So what is the focal length of the lens? Use lens maker's formula and find what is the focal length of the lens. So I am marking randomly. An object is placed 60 cm from a convex lens of focal length 20 cm. Where will the image be formed and what is its nature? So use thin lens formula and find the answer 1 upon V minus 1 upon U equal to 1 upon F. So object is placed at 60 cm. So object distance to be taken as negative. Okay, focal length is also given 20 cm. So what will be the image distance? A concave lens has a focal length of 15 cm. Object is placed at 30 cm from the lens. Okay, what is the magnification produced? Okay. A glass lens n equal to 1.5 is immersed in a liquid of refractive index 1.2. What happens to the focal length of lens compared to its focal length in air? Okay, glass lens. So focal length will increase. Okay. A magician makes a glass lens n equal to 1.47 disappear in trough of a liquid. What must be the refractive index of the liquid? So we have discussed it recently. Yes. Good. So this is the DPP. So this is all about today's lecture. I hope you enjoyed the session and understood it well. Thank you.